Well, hi there. Hey, I just wanted to tell you, forget all about that IA, artificial intelligence stuff. You know, just forget about it. It's in the news all the time on this planet, and I'm tired of hearing about it. Let's just get out there and do the humanoid boogie, like we do all the time. Oh, and it's also known as the return to the Perfumed Gardens with that old bag of potting soil, me, Rik Strange. Oh, let's see. You know, I loved this guy. His name was David Peel. He passed away some years ago, and he was the originator of pirate radio off the coast of England back in early, I think 65, 66, somewhere in there. And his, I loved him so much because he had a show called Return to the Perfumed Gardens. So guess what? That's where I got the name for the show. And so following in this man's footsteps and his efforts of bringing out, you name it, eclectic everything, music-wise, you know, you can always expect the same thing from moi in our eclectic cornucopia of a bulbous musical fulfillment. Whew, that's a whole mouthful of donut. So, on with this let's see, what's the word I want to use? Well, we're going to call it convulsive, involuntary reflex to the tuner, of the tuner type. Meaning, I'm going to play you some records. Okay, so, in a land long, long time ago, I had a penchant for alternative rock. So what we're going to listen to is something of an avant-garde. Yeah, it's definitely got rock involved, with a simpatico vocalist and a buttload of musical imagination. And they're a conglomeration of all the above, and they came from Iceland, of all places. Woo! Man, hey, that's the complete opposite of crematoria, which is like Cooking City. Hatching out of a band called, all right, here we go now, because this is Icelandic, Kukl? I don't think, I know, you know, it's not like Kukl, Fran, and Ollie or anything like that, but it's K-U-K-L, I think, Kukl, but there's no umlaut over the U, so I don't know what it is. So anyway, they adding some extra body weight to that band. In '86, that is, they added Bjork and
Bjork.
B-J-O-R-K, okay? Bing. She's from Iceland, and you know her. And then a guy by the name of, no, wait a minute. Yeah, a guy by the name of Enya Orn Birkenfurg and a guy named Signe, oh God, I'm gonna murder this one, Balderson. Oh, and they became the Sugar Cubes. Whoa, wow. By '88, they had, they had unleashed an artifact of sine waves called, and the album was called Life's Too Good. So, get a heaping plate of dried fish with cottage cheese, and hear a cut called Birthday. Hey, what you got to lose but your inhibitions? still catchy and smashy? What's that? Well, weird mutated is the word that seems to come to mind, to my mind anyway. And what's with that wicked trumpet thing going on? Woo-hoo! Hey, that particular sound effect, along with those whirly-bird vocals, woo! Okay, so, well, losing my sales tag here, but no, this is a rate. I rate all my stuff so that when it goes to the used record store, they will give me a tiny 10 cents on the dollar. Anyway, there you go. This is an original pressing that I got in 1988, and it's just what you'd expect. Avant-garde weirdness. Still in the Shrinkus, a Rapus, with the blowhole sticker on it. Anyway, whoa! You know, these guys and gal, you know, her vocals really set the stage here. You know, like I was saying, she's got this whirly-birdy, chirpy kind of thing going on, and sometimes, you know, she's a thrashing little girl soprano, and sometimes a more musical, mushy, swampy gas creation of avant-garde. Well, hey, is this in 3D? No, but your face is. Whoa! Well, boy, I had too much coffee already this morning, and it shows, doesn't it? Because it's early in the morning, and I've been up all night. What? Hey, this is really out of sight LP. I think you got to get this one. Two more followed, and then good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Anyway, this is the first LP that came out, and I'd say you need to acquire it. So, anyway, while we are on the alternative mode, in the alternative mode, I should say, I want to bring out our next guest to this feast of friends. Now, these cats got on the bus, I should say, in Minneapolis in 1979, and they were a hard punk kind of a thing. Excuse me, I'm getting a little verklempt here. This is a four-piecer. Wall of sounders were called The Replacements. And after 3 pretty heavy releases, they changed course a bit and became the leading component in the alternative music. I mean, they were happening. Let me lead in that direction that they took by means of a tuner called Kiss Me on the Bus. I said bus. So get ready and pucker up. On the bus, watch our reflection. On the bus, I can't stand no rejection. All that's everything. Oh yeah, don't be so mean. They're all watching. Kiss me on the bus. Kiss me on the I'm all in on that one. Let's look at the record that came from. This one is from '85, I do believe. This is Tim. This was one of their, whoops, I almost lost it there. That's the front, there's the back. There's a really sketchy shot of them on stage. But this one garnered like 3 big hits for them. Gardened. Anyway, let's see. That tune has got a really nice tempo. I like it a lot, and it's kind of like the drum part is really what drives it for me. It reminds you like you're on the freaking bus on line 7, you know. And anyway, Paul Westerberg is the vocalist and a guitarist and a really good songwriter from the band. Like I say, this one was from '85, original pressing that I had from the day, and he was getting airtime on MTV. I should say they. I don't want to be excluding the other 3 boys. They also did this. I don't believe that one was on MTV, but Bastards of Young was a big hit off of this record, and that was on MTV. And this album, it's a smoker, man. It's called Tim, and it cooks on all the burners all day long, baby. Whew! I mean, it happens. So, but before I go any farther, I'm going to show you a few more that I have. I hope that the plastic doesn't make a problem here. This is called Don't Tell Anyone. And I forget what the tune is on this one. That was kind of big for them. But this was like 3 years later. So this is 87 or 88 or 89. And they had replaced the original guitarist because he was having mental breakdown. But these guys were notorious for heavy drinking anyway. And this is their second full LP. They did their first LP, and then they did an EP, and then they did this. And this is Hootenanny, and this really does show their punk roots. This is loud, and this is precocious. Or precocious? I don't know. Yeah, Bob Stinson, that was the guy that left the band, or was kicked out, or whatever. But anyway, this is interesting stuff all the way around. So, those are all from the day. I really had a thing for these guys. Now, they did other records. I don't really have their full selection, but I would recommend anything that you like about Kiss Me on the Bus, anything from '85 on, you couldn't go wrong. So, couldn't go wrong, yeah, alright. Sashing out of the time portal. Next, from '72, is an LP from Barry Melton. Everybody knows Barry, Country Joe and the Fish. He was the Fish. And the record is called Melton, Levy, and the Day Brothers. Now, the grooves on this disc follow the exodus that was going on out of San Francisco into the confines of Marin County, and that's just across the Golden Gate Bridge. And that's where a lot of the hippies went. And like the exodus really kind of started. The airplane left the mansion, I think it was in '69. Might have been in '68. No, I don't know. But they were all starting to go there. Quicksilver went there. The Dead were over there in San Rafael. And so this is that kind of a, you know, that's where the vibe was going, because the city is really, things got pretty hairy in the hate in '68 and '69. It was the bad drug time anyway. But that was the vibe. You know, the redwoods, nature, you know, all the cool stuff that's out here. You just don't got to go very far and you run into it big time. So let's drop a musical tab called Taxpayer's Lament. And let's jump into this tune and just get a huge hit of California Sunshine. Dig me, baby?
We both want the same things, I know.
reminiscent of what Barry is capable of. I mean, he really added a lot to the Country Joe and the Fish band. A lot. I mean, his sound is so distinctive. Anyway, like I was alluding to, it's a bit of a letdown from the highs and the highs of the Haight-Ashbury, you know, that 66 to 68 era. Let's look at the cover. I think Stoner will get a kick out of this. Is that what your cat looks like, Stoner? When he's in a good mood? After he's had a bunch of catnip? Whoa-ho! There's the front. There's the back. There's our hero, Barry Melton. So, let's, oh, it's on the Columbia label. And I believe it's the 2i, as they call it. Put that over there. Let's see, where are we going to go here? I must admit, you know, I still think this is an accomplished LP. I think it's a nice piece. But I must admit, I was hoping for a bit more pizzazz or pizzazzo from Mr. Melton. But, hey, oh well. It's where it was all going to. Like I say, Country Joe and the Fish, they split up. And Joe was getting more into his solo career, which is very good, by the way. And, but, you know, all things must pass. Hope I don't get bounced by the man for that one. It's just a quote, not a song. Anyway, good event here, I'd say, too. And you can find this one pretty inexpensive. Just got to switch it out. Hope you can find it in the crate near you. Last but not least, we now have a live one from 1969. I grabbed this one on a recent road trip when I went to see my mom. And it's a Japanese concert by, get this, the Human Beings in March of 1969. To be exact, I don't have the day, but it's in March. So, let's cut the chase. Let's cut to the chase and sample a hearing of Gotta Keep On Pushing. It's a tune from their second LP. And so, okay, boys, let it rip. Yeah, baby, whoo! Some fuzzy whatnot on guitar from Richard Belly. Okay, here is the record. You know, there's the authentication of Japanese pressing. It's a gatefold. Very, very good. Very informative. Oh, by the way, that's Richard Belly right there, and there's the other boys. Anyway, let's move along with the story as it goes. So, let me tell you about the band did this gig on a contractual obligator. What's nutso here is that back in the States, the band had already decided to, disband, and that was it. This band disbanded. And, but they had just, the deal was that they had done a 45, which was going to be a follow-up to, their big blowout of Nobody But Me. There's a record in between, obviously. There was 2 studio albums. Actually, there's half a studio album they mixed up with another band on the other side, and then they did their first LP, and then they did their second LP. I think it was called Reflections. I don't know. You better Google that. And then this. But anyway, they did this 45, and it didn't do anything. And the record company was just saying, well, it ain't gonna work, blah, blah, blah. So they just decided, that's it, kablooey. But that record, that 45, oh my goodness, and the name of it is, oh, I know it. Oh, or do I know it? It's called Hold On Baby. And guess what? Japan, it blew up, it took off. So in the meantime, I'm gonna be all kaflunky here. So anyway, when they got the word that they were obligated to do this promo tour, and that's all it was going to be, was a promo tour, they got back together, minus the original drummer, and I can't remember who replaced him, but they got on the plane, and lo and behold, when they got off at the airport, they were mobbed by adoring fans, and a riotous mob they were. Woo! They had recently released that 45 in Japan, and it was like, wow, it just didn't do anything else in the rest of the world but in Japan. Just goes to show you, you never know when it's going to happen. Go figure. Sidebar alert. I saw the Human Beings at my high school in 1967, shortly before Nobody But Me 45 took off, and I mean it took off. And another little teensy bit of sidebar is I also ran into Richard Belly in 1971 at a job I was on, but by that time he was playing pedal steel guitar in a country band. Pretty interesting, I'd say. I guess you'd say that was 133 degrees of separation or not. What? Anyway, they did the tour. They played the gig. It's a good recording. The only problem is, and then they complained about it in the liner notes, is that the amps that they had were pretty on the crapulous side, and so the sound didn't come out really great musically, but the vocals are good. Everything is happening. This is a good LP. And anything that dates back from before the 70s, it's hit or miss at best, but sometimes it just sort of clicks, and baby, this one clicks. So I gotta also say, so that you don't think I'm just a braggart and I'm full of baloney. Well, I am full of baloney, but I have been a very fortunate son indeed, because I have seen a ton of the bands that I talk about over the years.
True that.
From the Peanut Gallery. Which is enough of that. And it brings us to our bumper selectivity for today. And it's a listening pleasure for the soundtrack to Blade Runner. But, and I do mean but, it is, it's adapted to an orchestra. So it's a little bit different. But what's really cool about this record, and this was licensed by the film, because you can see they were able to print up all these cameo shots from the movie. This is legit release. It's not some bogus gizmo. Anyway, this is from '83. 82, sorry. But what's cool about this is that the guests, musicians that showed up included Ian Anderson, who was in the Mothers in the beginning all the way through, and then did some work with him over the next 10, 15 years, and he's doing synthesizer stuff. And then Tom Scott on alto sax. Who was just about everywhere with everybody in those days. He played on Wings records. He played for George Harrison on some of his stuff. He played for Pink Floyd, Steely Dan, and I don't know where it's at. I got to go through my archives and find it. But he even played on Steppenwolf. So I'm kind of thinking it was latter day Steppenwolf. I'm losing my jewelry here. But anyway, so what? Doesn't matter. It's a good bumperist, and I must bid you all adieu. Thanks for sparing the time for tea in the garden with me. I gotta tell you, I had it 220. I dropped down to 217. Now I'm back to 220 again on my subbers. Thank you all. Thank you all indeed. Appreciate it. Appreciate the comments. And if you are dialing in, you can see that none of them are vulgar and none of them are hateful. So that's always cool. A little bit of that goes a long way with the captain. Also, thank you so much for just giving me a minute of your day. And in this case, probably about 30 minutes. But it's all worth it, I'd say. But I would, because I like watching it. Well, so till the next time we get out on the dance floor and do the humanoid boogie, I want to say peace to all of you. Times are tough, but we're going to weather the storm. I love you. Drop me a line if you like, or not. But I appreciate the comments. I like you dialing in. That's cool. My therapy is working out so well with your help. Anyway, till the twain shall meet, remember, we are all one. Peace to you, people.